the number one produced and viewed content in the world globally on TikTok is dance.
Hello, I'm John Jannarone, Editor-in-Chief of Private Equity Edge. Happy to be back here in Orlando, Florida at ICR Conference 2025. We have a special guest today who I'm really delighted to meet in person. I actually wrote about the deal that put this company together in November 2023. TZP Capital Partners 4, where Dan previously was, brought together Break the Floor and Star Dance Alliance to form DanceOne. Dan, great to have you here and congrats on the new role.
Thank you.
So can you tell our viewers a bit more about what this business is all about? I mean, I talked about the deal and all, but can you tell us what the company does and how important you are in this dance world?
Oh, of course. So when we brought the two iconic businesses together, we created the largest and the most premier educational and competitive dance company in the world. We produce over 500 events a year in the US and around the world. And we have a family of the largest dance brands ever assembled.
That's great. And so talk a bit more about what I was discussing as far as the deal. So you put this deal together, roughly a year passes and you decide to actually run the business. So you're becoming an operator, but you're a private equity guy. Tell me about your background and that move.
Sure. Well, first of all, I started my career in private equity over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I left private equity to go and build a company.
Okay.
I always thought being a better investor would be to be an empathetic investor and to understand how to run a company. So I actually built a company, which was the Robert family of brands, where we bought a number of target enthusiast brands and put those together.
Oh, wow.
And so, and I did that, and I was chief operating officer and head of strategy. So I understand. I would always say you have to pick up a shovel and really know how to dig. So I've done that before.
Yeah.
And we've always been TZP was built. I've been there since day one. To be an operationally focused firm. So for me, I just saw an incredible opportunity to be part of this community, the opportunity to grow this, and frankly saw an incredible team that I wanted to be part of.
So there's a lot more than just the plain vanilla, financial engineering kind of stuff that private equity firms do. It sounds more like, you're rolling up your sleeves, you're running the business. So there's not a whole lot of financial magic tricks going on. You're actually just trying to grow the business as an operator, right?
Oh, 100%. Look, when I look for businesses generally, we look for excellent businesses that are at the center of an important community, that are premier brands, and then we invest in those brands. And so our strategy is very simple. Number one, we're going to reinvest in the current events that we produce, and people who attend those events will see that this year. They'll see it right now as we're in season. Number two is we're going to continue to expand. We announced an expansion with Derek and Julianne Hough, the production of what will be the Ovation Tour, which is coming out this coming fall.
All right.
And also investing in the community itself by relaunching the Dance Teacher Summit to bring together the dance teachers and the dance studio owners so that we can have a real discussion about how to better the community as a whole. That's why we named the company DanceOne. The whole purpose of it was to bring the community together. We have lots of sayings, but one of my sayings is there is no them, there's only us. And so our job is to bring everyone together. And so seeing the opportunity to do that was extremely exciting. We also see the opportunity, the number one produced and viewed content in the world globally on TikTok is dance. And so for us, being at the center of that and having the top choreographers and dancers in the world as part of our platform and part of DanceOne already today, we see an opportunity to celebrate dance on a digital scale. We see an opportunity to celebrate dance and bringing it to life in so many different ways. And so for us, yes, in terms of growing this business, it's really investing in the community and shining a light that belongs to be shown on the dance community as a whole.
It's funny you mentioned that, Dan, because you're right. With the advent of all the social media, TikTok in particular, I've just seen thousands of videos of this coordinated dancing, and it never occurred to me, I guess they're going to class and training for this. They're not just making this up. Some of these are very, very well choreographed, right? So are some of those students winding up becoming influencers on TikTok and social media?
Absolutely. We have, in our students and our choreographers, you have over 500 million followers. So you're talking about a really active community. And yes, these are world-class athletes. So what brought me to the space originally was I was spending a lot of time looking at youth enrichment and trying to understand different areas. And when I saw the excellence that was being created at these events and the level of talent, which is world class, and we're talking about 8 to 18-year-old kids that are being taught by the best choreographers on the planet. And to see them not only get up on stage and perform and compete, but also learn with each other, the opportunities that I saw were boundless.
That's really something. You know, before we started here, I was talking to my colleagues and I said, you know, where is most of this stuff being seen? It's not necessarily on television. I mean, it is to some degree. There are competitions, but what you just helped me figure out is a lot of this is being consumed on social media. Absolutely. That's where it's being seen every day, right? By millions of people.
And on television. I mean, one of the most watched TV shows in the United States is Dancing with the Stars. So You Think You Can Dance. Most of the casts of those work for us in some way, shape, or form as choreographers. And so you're talking about not only name brands in the dance industry, because they are the biggest names and the biggest talents in that industry, but also world-renowned stars.
That's great. Just one last question. Can you tell me the competitive landscape? It looks like you're the biggest player out there, but is there much competition? Are there guys doing similar things, or do you have a really big share of the market? How does that look?
So first of all, again, being part of DanceOne, we want to be part of the community. So we love the fact that there are other people out there that are building their businesses and growing their businesses, and frankly, we want to be helpful to everybody. So in terms of building our infrastructure, we have an incredible technology platform, all these others. We look at it as more of a collaboration with the other players in the space. But yes, there are other opportunities for people, and they're terrific operators who are former dance instructors and former dancers who have event companies that they're running that do produce events, but they're much smaller than we are. And to be candid, we're excited for them to continue to grow as well as the dance community grows. Gotcha.
All right, last question. You just became CEO. What are you most excited about in 2025?
In 2025, what I'm most excited about is we are just heading into really the center of our season, which is between January and we'll end with our 26 national events in June, July, and August. And what I'm excited about is to see 500,000 world-class dancers between the ages of 8 and 18 come to our events and experience those events and to witness what is an extraordinary amount of talent. If you want to be inspired by something, come and watch any of these kids dance, all shapes and sizes from all over the world, and you're going to see two things. Number one is excellence, without a question. And number two is you're going to see you can be competitive and also be supportive of each other. And that's what the community is all about. So that's what I'm most excited about this year.
All right, that's great. Perfect. We're going to leave it there, Dan. This has been Dan Galpern, who's the new CEO of DanceOne. I'm John Jannarone, Editor-in-Chief of Private Equity Edge, signing off from Orlando.